trust? You trust me. That's who. Because I'm trustworthy. Words to live by Mr. Michael Rapaport.
Solid.
It's very solid. I just thought about that before you even press record. What's up, people? Welcome back to Classic Cinematic Movie Podcast. That takes you back to the iconic films of 20 years ago. I am your guy, Jay Alonzo. With me, of course, is...
Danger Enough. David Danger Enough. How are you, partner?
What's going on, my dude?
Oh, you know, just living the dream here out in the valley, trying to stay cool like you.
It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
It is. Is this construction ever going to end?
Oh, dude.
It's a state flower.
If you live in the Las Vegas area, you know for a fact we are construction heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Like almost for people who live in Las Vegas, like just today I was going to work and I was coming down Cheyenne. And Cheyenne is one of them streets you just don't want to take right now. Like no matter how far down you go, it's just traffic. The traffic is so bad with the construction. I literally saw everybody make the same mistake. As in turning into like asphalt that's clearly still wet.
Right.
But like, you have to make that right turn. So like once one person did it, they all did it. And it's like that mass confusion.
Yep. When
it comes to like construction.
Not only that, and it's funny that you mentioned Cheyenne. Cheyenne is actually, for those of you who don't live in the Las Vegas area, in Northtown, it's actually one of the easiest roads to drive because you can do 50 down it. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. And that's the speed limit. The speed limit is 50 on it. So, you know, motherfuckers over here driving 60, 70 miles an hour down Cheyenne. They don't even care. That's how easy this road is. So to hear like all this construction going on, they say they're on the last stages of Neon Project. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Me neither. Listen, that thing's been under construction for at least a year. But, you know.
Oh, did you hear the news that it like dropped... It dropped earlier this week that Henderson was trying to get the Diamondbacks to move out to Henderson, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Major League Baseball team,
to become the Henderson Diamondbacks.
They were going to be the Las Vegas Diamondbacks, basically, or maybe Nevada. I don't know, but yeah, the idea is they held like a serious presentation, like they had like bullet points and whatnot, you know, slides, you know, everything. And they presented to the Diamondbacks, and I'm not sure if talks are still going on or if that's on hold or Diamondbacks are playing out their season. But man, I don't know how I feel about it because Henderson already has, you know, they have the Golden Knights practice facility that's
which is a beautiful facility.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be beautiful when it comes through. But it's like, damn man, like all this new construction I hear, all that means. Prices of houses are going to go up, and just means that everything's going to be more expensive. I'm gonna have to move in with somebody. So I need one of you Cinefolks to reach out to me and say that they got a room that
I got a room.
You got a couch I could kick it in.
Dude, who are you? I got a room. Don't worry about it. And it's funny because we actually we talk about our city because we are proud of what our city has become. To kind of switch the gears for a second, we are going to talk about the obvious because here in Las Vegas, we too have also experienced tragedy of this scale.
Right.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, we're going to switch gears for a second and send our thoughts and prayers to the victims, first responders, the people of both El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. 13 hours in between the two of them. One took place Saturday night, other one early Sunday morning while people were getting ready to, get their kids ready for back to school at a Walmart. And a guy dedicated to destroying lives based on the color of their skin drove 9 hours to commit mass murder.
He drove 650 miles.
Yes.
To get to El Paso from I think he was from like McAllen, Texas or something like that. Right. To commit this. And no words can really be said. That hasn't already been said. You know, we here in Vegas, you know, we know what it did to affect us. And then, of course, the people out in Dayton, Ohio, which we definitely send our thoughts and condolences to. You know, to have it where the tragedy already happened earlier in the day. You're just trying to, you know, have a decent night.
Right.
You know, get your thoughts off everything that just happened.
Right.
And just, you know, you go out and then something happens, and then there's panic and chaos. People running out into the street. You know, they don't know what's going on, and we want to send our thanks to the law enforcement, first responders, anybody that was particularly helpful in the situation. There was this what's the gentleman's name? The bouncer in Dayton, Ohio that basically stopped the attack.
Yeah, he stopped it. I can't think of his name for nothing right now. But
so hold on, because we
give him his just due.
Yeah, you.
Well, while he's looking for that, it is true. The one thing that I want to seriously push is the fact that this is never something that we as American citizens, as a community of people, should never grow numb to. And to the point to where it's almost like we have one, and, you know, they write it off as, oh, this is just, you know, they don't want to do gun control. This is just mental illness. And you need to call it for what it is. This is literally white nationalist terrorism. This is homegrown terrorists who are, you know, for lack of a better explanation, they just want to take out who doesn't look like them. And we're not a political show. We're nowhere near a political show, and we refuse to be that. We cover movies. We have fun on the show. We can't get serious at times, but this show is for that average, everyday person who just simply likes to go to the movies, or like to talk about movies, or like to anticipate what's to come. We provide something that people can come together in unity and to either agree or disagree on. And that's the beauty of our country. We're able to bring together the blacks, browns, whites, Hispanics, Asians, Middle Easterns. Like, this is what people come to America so you can be part of something. And to know that there are people in this country who are hell bent on spewing, you know, racist rhetoric to the point to where they're willing to drive 600 miles to commit this mass murder. I'll tell you, one of the things that 100% just broke me amongst the entire situation was the parents that were killed shielding their 2-month-old infant, who unfortunately, in the scheme of things, I believe broke 2 fingers because the mom landed on him, but trying to protect him.
And then the father was on top of them.
The father was on top of them. Yeah. And it's like, what kind of cold-hearted fuck could you really be to, you know, to really just be cool with that? You know?
I don't get it. I really don't. And man, I really wish I could find the person who did this. So this is unfortunate. Glenn Oakley, okay, Jr., who was the gentleman who basically rescued a whole bunch of kids in that Walmart out in El Paso, and basically,
who are out selling cookies for their baseball team.
Right. You know,
unbelievable,
amazing person.
Right.
You know, and man, what is that gentleman's name? It's killing me here. For some odd reason, it's buried right now. And unfortunately, I am going to kind of move on a little bit while still looking this up throughout the show. But we want to send our heartfelt thanks to those gentlemen, and for everybody who contributed into this. The law enforcement arrived and took down the shooter in Dayton within 30 seconds, but the damage had already been done at that point.
Right.
And that's what it gets heartbreaking, you know.
And shout out to the fans in Dayton. Shout out to my family in Dayton, Ohio. Actually,
shout out to my friends in Dayton.
Yes, absolutely. I have a family member in Dayton, Ohio. My sister-in-law. She was the first person I called the minute I heard about it, and then of course, my daughter lives in Texas as well, so I have to make sure, you know, even though where they are is like 200 miles away, but still, it definitely lets you know something. If we don't get a lock on whatever bullshit is happening, we have problems. And most people are saying, once this kind of thing happens, I'm going to move away. I'm going to get out the city. Like it's proven no matter where you go, it's bound to happen.
And again, I'm not going to get into into heavy politics into this, but it can happen anywhere, and people want to talk about, oh, well, we'll just do this and we'll do that. We'll do this and we'll do that, and I personally don't hear solutions. I hear people trying to put a Band-Aid on the situation. And it's like, what the variable is. If you were to do a scientific experiment, right? Mm-hmm. And he took a list of all of these shootings that have happened worldwide, mm-hmm. And you find the common denominator, you'd get back to the same thing. Mm-hmm. So you, in the scientific community, you would remove that variable out of it, and then you would find a different way. But once again, God bless Dayton, Ohio, and God bless El Paso, Texas.
We know as a community we get tired of our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Right.
When are we going to do something about it? I mean, granted, our thoughts and prayers being with somebody at a tragic time is always accepted, it's always welcome.
Of course.
But how many thoughts and prayers must we give before, let's take care of this fucking problem. Like, let's label it what it is, and let's deal with this shit. Because we're running out of thoughts and prayers, bro. Let's be real about it.
There was a great thing that was said on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, mm-hmm. and it was something that he stated. And what he was basically doing is that he was basically breaking down every single argument that could be out there, and how it still wasn't solving the issue whatsoever. And here's what the bottom line is. A lot of people. Did you read this tweet from Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No.
So it was this huge tweet that he wrote out, and basically what the tweet said was so and so many amount of people die from car accidents every day. So and so within 48 hours. So and so many amount of people die from medical errors every single day. So and so many amount of people die from this every single day. And what was said towards the end was you'll find that most people respond more to spectacle than they actually would to raw data.
Right.
And first of all, it was a fucked up tweet. It was literally, you were wrong because he literally had to post something on Facebook afterwards, like, wow, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Right.
And that's what he said. But Trevor Noah basically broke it down pretty simply. He said, yes, absolutely. So many amount of people do die from the stuff within 48 hours. But we have preventable measures to avoid that every single time you go into the hospital. Not every single time you go into the hospital are things going to be good. There are going to be risky things that happen because of it. Same thing with car accidents. It's why we have seatbelts. It's why there's safety regulations. Now we have self-driving cars. With suicides, we have preventative measures that we try to do something. And that's what the bottom line is here. You have to try to do something, just anything whatsoever. Please, just do something. And if both sides want to make the same argument, do them both.
Right.
I'm fine with it.
I say more, just accept accountability.
Just do it. Do and try and actually give a crap about doing this, because the less that we decide not to do anything about it, they showed this cycle. And it was pretty terrible. They said it was literally like it was like mass shooting, and then it was like high hysteria from the media, which is true, right? And then Facebook debates, which is where we're at right now.
Right.
And then it's going to go to do nothing, forget about it,
Then happens again.
No action taken by the Senate, mass shooting, and then once again,
it's a cycle.
Yeah, you got to break it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to break it. Mm-hmm. Something has got to change.
As long as you still allow these people to feel like,
as long as you empower them,
I can do this.
Right.
Like to know that, you know, assholes like Dylan Roof are getting walked out in cuffs and not gunned down on sight. So I could do this and still have my day in court. Oh, fuck it, cool, let's do it.
Or oh God,
it's very rare somebody who does this and actually walk away.
The death penalty. Yeah. Oh, that's the one that cracks me up. You know, they say, oh well, we gotta bring back the death penalty. Okay, so now I can do this, and I know for sure that for the next 10 years I'll be in a cell with 3 meals a day, paid by the government before my day comes, and my day is gonna come very quietly, basically.
Like I won't even be talked about in the news ever.
Exactly.
Until the day comes where I'm supposed to be executed.
Right. Exactly.
That's crazy.
And so, you don't think people look at that and say, "Yeah, that's a pretty fair trade."
Cool.
I'm down for that.
This out.
Anyways, we're gonna switch things up.
But once again, though, to all the families, because this actually, like, you know, we do grow numb to this, but to all the families affected from the 2 shootings in both Dayton and El Paso, and all the mass shootings that have happened in this country in the last decade, we're always with you. Prayers are always with you, and man,
we're with you. We love you, and we hear you.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to switch things up. Something a little bit happier. I'm sure nobody wanted to sit there for the first 17 minutes of this program to hear that. And
but it was important. It was definitely imperative.
But we need to say something.
Absolutely. You know? So let me ask you a question. Have you seen Hobbs and Shaw yet?
No.
Okay. So
but wait, you haven't asked me why.
Why have you seen Hobbs and Shaw?
Because I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. Okay, so for those who have seen Hobbs and Shaw over the weekend, it did open up at number 1. I want to say
expected.
It is the lowest Fast and Furious movie. It's on par with Tokyo Drift, which is never a good thing. But it's also the lowest grossing movie in The Rock's career at this point.
Really?
At the lowest opening number.
Lower than Southland Tales? Because that was hot
Did
garbage.
I get a theater release?
Oh, God, I think so. It was hot garbage. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, yeah, with Justin Timberlake.
No.
It's trash.
No.
But
we don't talk about that
But according to the facts, this is definitely the lowest opening weekend The Rock's ever seen.
Wow.
And it's open at number 1. But you can also equate that to, you know, back to school stuff's happening and blah, blah, blah. So not a lot of people trying to get to movies right now.
No, and obviously it's tough because I don't think there's such thing as The Rock fatigue. Because I think he's now at that echelon of Hollywood actors where it's like, The Rock's in this movie, pretty much gonna try to give him my just due. Yeah. You know, you know what? I did see Fighting with My Family. Fantastic movie.
Great.
Fantastic.
And he's great in it.
He really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for those of you who did catch Hobbs and Shaw, the secret release trailer of the possibly Inception sequel, Christopher Nolan flick Tenet, was dropped. It was only a 40-second trailer. It was a lot of cutaways to a lot of the actors that are in it. John David Washington
who's your lead?
is in it. Robert Pattinson, Michael Caine.
I do believe
Kevin Branagh is in it. So it's interesting because the idea, there's just not. And here's the thing: the movie comes out next year. We're less than a year away from this movie dropping. And once again, like I'm a Nolan fan. I just am. I get it. Some of his stories don't always make all the sense in the world. Some people like to kind of throw out other things. Dunkirk, people will say, that was a little bit boring for my blood. Right. I thought it was brilliant in the way that was shot, but I get it. The idea of this being the first ever sequel that isn't comic book lore.
If it is indeed a sequel.
If it is indeed a sequel.
He himself has not come out and said a sequel, but there are elements in the trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
No.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie to you. I looked through hell and back to try to find some kind of copy of it. I know I wasn't going to get to the movie to see Hobbs and Shaw anytime soon. So I tried to find it. I finally found an actual copy of it on YouTube. grainy as shit, but it's definitely the trailer. And what the trailer shows is certain things, and you don't want to spoil it, but they would have put it up by now because this was the talk of the day, almost the very next day after the movie had opened. There was more talks about this than it was Hobbs and Shaw, which I thought was crazy. But it's a great trailer. There are things in there that does implicate a possible connection to Inception. Direct sequel, I'm not sure. But is it time travel involved? I'm willing to bet that it is.
You know, it'd be interesting. You know, because the one connection really that it would be Inception like is that Michael Caine is back in it,
right?
And Michael Caine did play. He didn't play a big role in Inception, but he played an important role in Inception. Mm-hmm. For those of you who have never seen Inception, it is a fantastic movie.
You gotta catch up, man.
It is this crazy movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and JGL basically right when he comes back. Tom Hardy is in this. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you're talking, you're getting at this point in that movie, you're getting people that were suddenly becoming true up and coming people. Cillian Murphy is in it, and you know, it was this crazy flick about, you know, dreams, and then the idea of dreams within dreams, and how it can affect basically the present, right. which he really tried to do a lot of research and trying to present the best role there. So I am excited personally for it. From what we know, none of the other actors outside of Michael Caine is attached. And again, this could be a spiritual sequel. This could be not a sequel at all. This could be its own separate thing.
So what I'm reading here is the official cast list is John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, who's great by the way, Dimple Kapadia, I'm not sure who that is, Aaron Taylor Johnson's in this, Clemente Posey, Michael Caine, and Kenneth Branagh. So it's a solid cast list for sure.
No, it is, and it's a young cast also. Mm-hmm. You know, because even Pattinson, even though Twilight was years ago, we've talked about this before. He's kind of had his comeuppance. Like he's been ready to come back into the mainstream game for some time because some of his indie work is actually really terrific. Mm-hmm. It's just weird, and that's why I love about it. So. Right. So I'm interested to see. What about you? Where's your interest level with it?
For this, I'm all in. I'm with you. When it comes to Nolan movies, these are event films,
right?
They may not always go over the way you hope, but out of his illustrious career, which is not a lot of movies in there, but you know, from Memento and Insomnia and the Batman trilogy,
The Prestige, Interstellar.
I didn't love Interstellar. And I didn't love Dunkirk, but I'm so immersed in them to where I still left it relatively, you know, I enjoyed it.
I was a fan of Interstellar, but I understand why it could have been better in some parts, and I'll admit to that. Right. But I was a fan of how everything kind of came through because that's pretty much what space would be like.
And one thing I also love about this movie altogether is that you have John David Washington, you know, the son of Denzel, as fresh off of Black Klansman,
right,
front and center as your lead in this movie. And this trailer shows him this is your protagonist through this movie. Yep. And I couldn't be more happier for him because he's come a long way since Ballers, Black Klansman, and he's making a name for himself outside of simply being Denzel's kid. So for that, I salute that.
Yeah. This movie drops the day before my birthday, so July 17th, 2020. I am more than happy to do a whole watch party here in Vegas. So let's hook up. Let's do this. Let's rent out a theater and get weird with it.
So while we're still on Hobbs and Shaw, which is so funny because we have yet to talk about Hobbs and Shaw because we haven't seen it yet. But Tyrese, well, you thought he was done. Crying like a baby back bitch, but when all else fails, he's back to do some more crying about it. But here's the thing.
No, that's a soundbite if I ever heard one. You thought he was still crying like a baby back bitch.
Baby back bitch, but you know, it is what it is. But I'll say this. Though this particular rant does make some sense, you come off looking like a hater. And if you don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to tell you. So, Mr. Tyrese Gibson, if you know him best, he plays the role of Roman Pierce in the Fast and Furious franchise, has long, for a good while now, actually let it be known he's not for this Hobbs and Shaw movie because you're breaking up the family. You're taking away what the fans want. Dude, the fans just want some good fucking movies, bro. I don't care what's in it. Just give me a good movie. And, which I thought was a really weird move, but he decided to go on Instagram and pretty much make fun of Hobbs and Shaw, the fact that it didn't open at astronomical numbers that a Fast and Furious movie would actually open it. And so what I find hilarious about this is that you have decided to not only go after somebody that you're supposed to be good with in The Rock and this whole family situation, but furthermore, you're literally biting the fucking hand that feeds you by going at Universal. And why would they even do this movie? Shut the fuck up. We don't want a Roman and Tej movie. I don't want a Roman Pierce movie at all. Actually, if you ask the Irish Fast and Furious fan, you're the least favorite character.
It's true.
Am I lying?
No, you're not.
You're the least favorite character.
Roman's one of those characters that does not grow better throughout the movie. Throughout the series, really. Now, Roman's been around since the second one, since Too Fast, Too Furious, and it just felt like every single time he wasn't really learning anything at all. It's like, dude, how could you still be this lame? Like, how do you not know anything about anything that's going on? Right. You're just over here to basically pop bottles. You just so happen to be able to somewhat drive, although it seems like you always lose your car in the process.
Yeah, it gets with the girls and all that jazz.
And that's all he cares about in the movie. What about that character makes it sound even appealing for me to want to invest into that? Tyrese needs to understand that while he can be a fun actor in these movies, like people don't go to see what Tyrese Gibson is up to, and let's not forget like the implosion you had a few years back.
What more do you want from me? Yeah, that's what we got out of you, dude. Like, okay, so I'm gonna read some of the stuff that he actually posted real quick. Mm-hmm. I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna read all of them because you just sound fucking angry. Now, this is what he did. He had two posts. One post, he's really going in deep about like, dude, your movie sucks. I told you it's gonna suck. Da da da. This is more so. Okay, so this one that was deleted. I have to show my respects for one thing. He tried. Folks called me a hater and attacked me for speaking out. Breaking up the family clearly doesn't have the value that one would assume it does. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, the Rock and crew can join us again and we can hug it out and blah, blah, blah. So there was that one.
So hold on. But who's the bigger marketable star of the... Look, I get... Fast and the Furious is Vin Diesel's franchise. Mm-hmm. All right? And that's fine. But who is the bigger marketable star out of anybody that's been in the Fast and the Furious franchise to this day? It's definitely not Vin Diesel.
Well, okay, so with that point being said, and I'm with you on this because this rant goes on for a long time. But anyway, I agree with you to the point, and I also disagree with you to a point. And this is the reason why. The Rock and Vin Diesel's beef, we've always known about it.
Sure.
But they've always kept it, for the most part, under wraps. Like, they're not on IG doing diss records, nothing like that. It's just simply they have an issue. It's public. We know about it, but they're not, hey, fuck you. It's none of that. Tyrese is the only part of it that really wants to take his issues public. And on top of that, this was just this time last year when you heard that they were even making a movie and you want to bitch and moan about it. Then you wait to the opening weekend to bring back your bitching and moaning, which
right.
You've already apologized for, to bring it back again. Now, what I will say this though, Fast and Furious 9 does not have The Rock in it. And I think the movie will still do over $1 billion.
Sure, yeah. I'm not denying that Fast and the Furious. Look, The Rock didn't make the Fast and the Furious. It was definitely Vin Diesel.
Right.
What I'm more talking about is once this ride is over, because what are we really talking about here at this point?
Talk about love is love.
Right. Well, I mean, The Rock. I mean, The Rock's not going to be in it. Paul Walker is gone.
Yes.
Right. Another marketable star, Gal Gadot, is gone from the series.
Right.
Is Jason Statham and Luke Evans coming back?
And F9, no. But Helen Mirren is coming back.
Right.
Which I'm going to assume with the numbers of Hobbs and Shaw, they're going to do a sequel, clearly. So I feel like to keep The Rock and Statham out of the Fast and Furious thing, Fast and Furious 9 will tie in Hobbs and Shaw some sort of way. Hobbs and Shaw 2 will have, and that's going to tie in the F9
no,
10.
I know Charlize Theron is coming back in 9. Mm-hmm. But, you take what happens if Vin Diesel walks away from it? Then there's no movie anymore.
Well, that's why they will stop at 10.
Well, I get that idea, and in my eyes, the series has gone on way too long anyway. Like in my eyes, the 5th one was the best for a long time, and because it was the most fun that I've had in those movies, and I'm pretty much over it at this point. Like I'm there's too much drama with this entire production.
Yeah, because don't feel like the little Michelle Rodriguez issues as well, which was kind of under the radar, but at the same time, it was like, well,
no, it was out there.
It was out there for sure.
It was out there.
But this is like this time. Listen, he says, The Rock is still one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and he's not hurting for work. I have 2 franchise films. He has at least 15, so there won't be any tears on his pillow tonight. $180 million global opening on Hobbs and Shaw is not a win. In this day and age where everyone wants to be safe and sit on their hands and not speak on real shit, when you do get attacked in web, that's that. Blah, 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 blah. The Rock comes from wrestling and he knows about smack talking and friendly competition. So love is love. Roman has spoken. Drops mic. # no comment.
Did he? He said Roman has spoken.
He's making it more about him as opposed to the family.
Whatever. Go away.
You're not bankable, dude. Like, you think this weird shit makes you bankable?
Please tell me. I'm gonna laugh so hard if they kill him off.
I wouldn't be shocked if they killed him off. I honestly would not be shocked if they killed him off.
Because Universal's just like, nah, I'm tired of him.
I'm tired of your shit. You gotta go. So, Fast and Furious 9 does drop, I want to say next May of 2020.
Does it?
It's gonna be a pretty stock summer for sure.
Thank God, because this summer has been so lackluster
at best, dude. But let me ask you. So overall, Tyrese back to his bitching. What exactly do you feel now? Like what if you are the head of Universal Studios, Fast and Furious franchise is in your lap. You literally have 2 movies left before you hang it up.
I'm thinking I'm cutting Tyrese.
Even though you have pretty much 2. Well, in this next movie, you have 1 movie left. Just let him go.
I mean, they did it with several. There's been several other movies that they've done that with. What's a movie that Christopher Plummer replaced Kevin Spacey in?
All the Money in the World.
All the Money in the World. Did the same exact thing. You can't tell me that they can't find a young, black, hungry, individual to take his place. Oh no, I'm Roman's cousin. Boom. Simple as that.
Okay. Well, all right.
What about you?
If I am the head of Universal Studios, we're having a strong. If I'm the head of Universal Studios and I'm also black, I am gonna have a strong talking to with Tyrese. I said, bruh, look here, man. At this point, you are now fucking with my money. At this point, you are now fucking with the studio's money. Like, not only did you pull this shit a year ago, you're back at it a year later, and you want to wait till opening weekend to shit on both Dwayne, Statham, the movie, and us. And we brought you back for F and F9. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're cool with Vin don't mean shit to me. But,
Get John David Washington in there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sick of your shit. But at the same time, because you literally have 1 movie left. If you truly are going to end this movie at 10, we know there's no Roman and Tej movie coming. We know there's no Roman by himself movie coming.
What's he going to do after this is done? I'm not saying that he's not saying on a bankroll.
The guy's talented for sure, but it's just you do. But and this is what I hate. You literally let your personality outweigh.
Tyrese is talented, but he is not nearly as talented as a lot of these young black actors that are out there right now. Right now, there's a lot more guys I would put my bankroll through.
That is true. Well, Tyrese, man. Let's not go this one more.
TMZ. He's gonna TMZ it.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna win it. But, I did want to throw it. This one wasn't added to our schedule, but I actually wanted to say rest in peace to Rutger Hauer.
Oh
my god! Like
yes.
When that news dropped, I was immediately sad the minute that dropped. Rutger Hauer, for those of you who don't know, is probably one of the greatest sci-fi villains of all
Blade
time.
Runner.
In Blade Runner, that's right. Roy Batty is his name.
Yep.
He actually improvised his final line in the movie, and let me I'm not going to get too deep into the story, but basically he plays a bad guy that has a time limit on his life.
Right.
All right. That's pretty much.
Let's not forget what he did with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sure, but
cool.
Even further, the Hitcher. Have you ever seen the original Hitcher?
Wow, yes, I have.
That may be a super throwback that we bring through, because that's a rough movie from the 70s. Like like for once the guy doesn't get the girl because the girl actually dies, and you're like, and dies horribly in the process. Like oh my god. But you know, Rutger Hauer has always been one of those guys that he never got. I don't want to say he never got his due, because he's had a long and beautiful
career.
Long career. Mm-hmm. It just, you know, it was unfortunate that he just you know, didn't get that huge role that he wanted to. But it's funny because he was just absolutely fantastic. So rest in peace, good sir.
Also, another rest in peace to the beautiful novelist, the great Toni Morrison, also passed away. And if you don't know that name, she I don't think a lot of her books have been turned into film, but one in particular you probably may have seen is called Beloved. With Oprah Winfrey and Danny Glover. It's a fantastic movie as well. Rest in peace to Toni Morrison, definitely a staple in the literature world, and she's dropped some amazing projects. So definitely a rest in peace to her as well. Now,
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched C-beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. And that was, and that was.
I'm watching the scene.
That last little bit, like tears in the rain, that was written by Hauer. That wasn't one of the writers. He actually wrote that into the script.
Wow. Like tears in the rain. Rest in peace, Rutger Hauer, man. So, Dave,
final bit of news, as we're now almost 40 minutes into the show.
Let me ask you this question. And this is a real question. If you were given the opportunity, no question, if you were paid to go see It Chapter 2 in a small theater, in a dark room, filled with clowns, would you take it?
Holy shit, sign me the fuck up! And you're paying me?
Yes. So, we're just getting some word that the Alamo Draft House in LA, which I believe is the first one in LA now, actually, which is weird. They never had one before. They're now offering clowns-only screenings for It Chapter 2. So what I thought it was going to be was...
Now, you know there's going to be some girls that are going to send their ex-boyfriends to this. God. You want a real clown? Here's a real clown for you.
Let me say something. I am a manly man, but you want to see somebody bitch out? Listen, I don't like clowns. I'll be the first man. I fucking hate them, actually. But if paid to go see It Chapter 2, cause what I read was, I thought it was like you can't get in unless you're in a clown outfit. Turns out you can actually go in regular clothes, but just know you're going to be in a room full of people dressed as clowns. So, here's my dilemma. I cannot wait to see It Chapter 2. Can't wait to see it. All 2 hours and 45 minutes of it. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. By the way, when they announced that runtime, I was like, oh.
Like,
really?
Anxiety. I don't need it. But I'm here for it, you know? But to take that same anxiety and then you sit in the room, and this is LA, so motherfuckers are really take this clown makeup to the T. Sitting in a room watching this wild scene in the movie, he looks you right as a dude dressed as a clown. Dude, anxiety, there's not enough pills in this world.
You know what would
to
be,
calm me down.
You know what would be nuts? If for every person that they had dressed up as a clown, that they gave a little red balloon to them for them to hide and whatnot. And so when you're scared and you're looking around, and all of a sudden you see the little red balloon start floating up. Ooh, that'd be so good.
No. Not even to
play up the atmosphere, people.
Not even to bring up the tragedy that's happened, but this is the perfect opportunity for that type of shit to happen.
Right. Exactly.
I'm good. I'd rather see it with you and other people who look like you.
I'm glad I don't look like a clown to you.
Good. Right. But in chapter 2 will drop September?
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
So we're close.
And I mean, this weekend is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my dad.
So let's get into this today's movie.
By the way, Blu-ray release of Alita Battle Angel has dropped. Please pick it up. Rent it. Do something. I really want a greenlit sequel for this.
I'm not going to lie to you. I have seen Alita Battle. I've seen it now. I like it. I liked it a lot. I just wasn't gung-ho about it.
Better or worse than Captain Marvel?
Unfair. But I'll say this. I'll say...
Come on. There's only one major flaw in that movie.
They're pretty equal as far as like...
There's one major flaw in that movie.
Rosa Salazar is great. But
The one major flaw in that movie, the boyfriend. Yeah. You replace him with a better actor, honestly, and the movie is damn near great.
Mahershala Ali is also a great movie as well.
There's a lot of great things in that movie. Please rent it, whatever. I don't care.
Please watch it.
Please. I want the sequel badly.
And then Dave's gonna jump on the Facebook group. Did you watch it yet? Please watch this movie.
You guys are gonna get so fucking annoyed with me because I'm just gonna keep posting. Did you check out Alita Battle Angel yet? Please rent it again.
What are you waiting on? Please watch it.
Redbox it. Buy the movie. You know.
So
replay it.
So today's movie. Now we're finally into today's movie.
45 minutes later,
which we're gonna knock out as fast as possible. But this movie is as stupid as it is such a gem.
Epitome of what Meg was going for.
They really tried that. It just didn't work.
They really did.
But it is an original, it's an original concept.
Okay.
In a way. But ladies and gentlemen, we are taking it back to the 1999 Smart Sharks thriller, Deep Blue Sea. Original release date, July 28th, 1999. Shares opening weekend with Runaway Bride. Production budget of $82 million with a box office total of $164.6 million. Currently sitting at a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, that's fair.
That's very fair.
That's so fair.
That is very fair.
Now, keep in mind something. Like right around this time, Hollywood also kind of got... Hollywood was in kind of this weird phase, especially for 1999. They had the the romance movies that came out way earlier in this year, and we talked about quite a bit of them.
Runaway Bride came out the same weekend.
I know, and that's why I didn't want to schedule it this weekend, because we've already talked about, dude. We've talked about Never Been Kissed. We've talked about 10 Things I Hate About You. We've talked about Cruel Intentions. We've talked about you see what I'm saying? That's 3 alone this year. And there was more that was supposed to come through. I think Notting Hill came out this year as well.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
So, okay.
Did you hear that they opened up a McDuffles?
Really? Where?
Oh God. Where you can actually get the sexual chocolate shake.
Oh, McDowell's.
McDowell's. I'm sorry. McDowell's. Why did I say McDuffles?
Yeah, there's one in LA. There was a whole pop. Actually,
they just opened one up in Queens.
Lovely. Because the same company that's doing it also opened up a Good Burger as well back in LA as well.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. So let me ask you this: what stands out to you about this movie?
In a lot of ways, nothing, and in a lot of ways, everything. But there is one particular scene that really stands out, and it's and spoiler alert, fully at this point, the death of Samuel Jackson.
Most people, when you remember this movie, you remember that scene. For me, well, of course, it's that scene for sure. But for me, I think it's the build up and how everything kind of goes on, because there are ample moments in this movie. You should have lost.
Oh.
Like, the shark should have been on your ass already.
Oh, the LLCoolJ's oven thing. I was so mad at that because I'm like that doesn't happen. You don't take a little screwdriver and poke your way out and create a big enough hole for you to fit your entire fat body, LLCoolJ.
Your big ass body through.
You mean the shark can't figure it out?
and well, you think about it,
the shark jumped to get Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, yeah,
and then jumped to get the bird. Yeah. Why can't it jump to get you in the oven?
And why didn't the oven kill you? You know what I'm saying? That's what always bothered me about that scene. But at the same time, I feel like it was in the clause. LL could not die in this movie. I think that was just part of the clause.
I think so also. And it's funny because there's actually this movie kind of had it had two things. One, it had a lot of potential from minor characters and even the lead character that he would wind up actually having a pretty decent career. And of course, I'm talking about Thomas Jane. Right. Thomas Jane would later play the Punisher. And probably one of the most underrated versions of him. A lot of people liked it so much that they released a 20-minute video called Punisher Dirty Laundry that was supposed to basically say he's coming back. Right. And it never came through. And it was a fantastic 20-minute flick.
And Tom Jane has had, in my opinion, a pretty solid career as far as The Mist. And of course, he had the show on HBO, Hung, which was doing very well.
Hung was so funny for a while. Saffron Burrows had a big role in The Bank Job with Jason Statham, which was heavily in it.
After a while.
What's that?
We didn't see a lot of her after a while.
No. She did other projects. Like she did My Own Worst Enemy. She had a role in Law and Order and Criminal Intent. She was also in Reign Over Me. I remember that. I
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that Sanders loved, right?
Yeah. Michael Rapaport pretty much got, I want to kind of say, his big screen debut in this. I know it's not because he was in Copland.
And Higher Learning as well.
And he was in Metro as well. I don't like Metro.
I love Metro.
Metro is so overrated in my eyes. It's too long and it's boring. Stellan Skarsgård was in this as well. So it's like there's so many unique kind of interesting people that are in this. But let's,
Well, here's the thing. Because we can actually, if I read the synopsis right now, that's basically the movie. Because the rest of you just have your jump scares, right? So what it says is, it's set in an isolated underwater facility. Follows a team of scientists and their research on mako sharks to help fight Alzheimer's disease. The situation plunges into chaos when multiple generated and engineered sharks go on a rampage and flood the facility.
Right. So that was the premise of the movie. The premise of this movie is that there's this facility that's out in the middle of the ocean, right? And people have to helicopter their way in, which, by the way, I don't know too many jobs out there that helicopter you in the first place. I'm thinking like I don't even think oil rig guys. I thought they had a boat that literally goes out.
That's what I thought. But, I mean, you're so far out in the ocean.
Yeah.
You kind of have to.
You kind of have to. But yeah, so there's this underwater facility, and they're doing research on mako sharks, which is typically speaking the most. I think they're the most dangerous sharks to be around because they're the most aggressive sharks. Right. Like naturally speaking, and I'm talking real world. That's why they decided to choose them. Hollywood at this time had also. It was something that I was thinking about. Hollywood at this time really kind of wanted to make. I don't want to say the next Jaws, but they wanted to get like back into the monster films really heavily. So Lake Placid was one of them.
I was bringing that one up. Yeah, go ahead.
So to kind of help with the reactivation of brain cells in Alzheimer's disease patients, what winds up happening in the process is kind of a little unique because they've been giving him these. They basically been giving him these injections and drugs, and they keep getting more and more and more aggressive. And the idea is to kind of see, is there a way to basically repair the damage that was all already done? Mm-hmm. The big scene where everything kind of starts to go down, in all honesty. I mean, they're getting super aggressive. By the way, somehow Thomas Jane is able, not that he's able to outrun these sharks, but he's pretty much able to outmaneuver every single shark that comes through. I mean, like the shark charges and he's able to swim out of the way. I'm like, really? Is that how that works?
Nah. I mean, I get it. You know your shit, but at the same time, this is their habitat. They're in the water all day.
Right. And the big scene that kind of happens with this is that they're all in this laboratory. And at this point, they've actually tranquilized one of the sharks. And the shark is totally completely like knocked out. Right. And a major storm is going on, by the way. And what winds up happening as they inject this huge needle into this shark, somehow it doesn't wake it up, right? And figure out that the test was good. Everybody's happy. Stellan Skarsgård winds up kind of walking off a little bit to kind of smoke a cigarette. And the shark suddenly wakes up and bites off his arm.
Goes right for the arm.
Goes right for the arm. Bites off his arm. It was crazy. But of course, they didn't want to release it back into the water, so they're trying to figure things out. And then finally, Thomas Jane comes to the senses of everybody and releases back into the water. Right. Because they immediately knew that they had to help.
No, take it back. Saffron Burrows puts it back in the water. Meanwhile, Jane was going to kill it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jane was going to kill it.
Right.
Burroughs stupidly releases back into the water. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? You know,
are you insane? Yeah.
Are you insane? So now they have to save the life of Stellan Skarsgård, and this may be one of the cruelest deaths I've ever seen because this is just awful. What winds up happening is, of course, it's storming. You got water coming in from both sides. A helicopter is coming down to basically rescue him. And they're all like, all right, well, we got to do this. And they like get him in there. And what exactly happens?
And let's not forget Brenda. Brenda is in the control tower trying to get the helicopter to get there. So as they're getting there and shit is happening, right? They're literally trying
Isn't she the sister of John Turturro?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ada Turturro is her name.
So as they are lifting Skarsgård's character via EMS to the helicopter, a shark pretty much jumps out of water and grabs him.
Right. Grabs him while he's on the
making
bed.
the copter shake now.
Right. Making a copter shake. The weight of the shark basically pulls the cable that drops itself down, and there's three sharks? At the beginning, there's three sharks, right? And the shark takes Skarsgård for a ride.
Well, but before that, the chopper does crash, killing Brenda in the control booth and the pilots aboard.
But that's what I mean. He takes him for a ride.
Yeah.
The shark takes Skarsgård for a ride. And this chopper just crashes in, kills Brenda, kills all the pilots that are inside. Meanwhile, the shark is officially taking this for a ride, and all anybody can see is you're seeing the shark just ride with Skarsgård in his mouth. Skarsgård's drowning. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing that's on his face, that's not a breathing machine.
No, it wasn't. It was supposed to help him breathe, but
not underwater.
Not underwater.
So what's happening is
it can't seal. It can't seal fully.
So he's drowning while on this ride. So when Sam Jackson goes, somebody tell me what that is. And it's a super small dot that's getting closer and closer and closer. And it cuts to the water shot, and it's Skarsgård drowning basically in the shark's mouth. And he's swimming fast as shit towards the main window. and the shark knows that they're behind the window.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
then,
because the shark was there previously.
So the shark literally launches the body of Skarsgård toward the window, causing it to break.
This is super cruel.
I think he died the worst, if you ask me.
I mean, it is absolutely cruel.
Yes.
So it's so crazy. After they witnessed this, they decide to go into what's called the wet entry, right? And there is a little bit of like pressure to kind of get in there. And the idea is to basically take the submarine to escape. But the submarine can't launch. And that's when Susan, who's played by Saffron Burrows, confesses to the others that she and Skarsgård, who's also known as Jim, genetically engineered the sharks to be smarter, to basically have their brain size increased. Because the certain protein complex, again, it's just story here, it's exposition, but the protein complex wasn't large enough to be, or the brain wasn't large enough to harvest a protein complex.
Right.
The problem with it is that, of course, it made him smarter and it made him deadlier. And I gotta give credit to Skarsgård, now widowed wife or girlfriend.
At this point, girlfriend, yes.
Okay, because
who's pissed by the way?
Oh, she's pissed, and she goes, "You stupid bitch," and I'm like, "Thank you."
Finally, somebody
actually said something smart in this.
Right. Now this literally brings us to that infamous scene. No, I'm not gonna call it infamous. This is definitely the best scene in this movie. So as basically people are losing their shit, right? Michael Rapaport saying, "Fuck that! I'm not going in them water. You can't make me. I don't work for you."
Right. And this is Rapaport, by the way, who plays the biggest little bitch in this movie. Oh,
Absolutely.
He's so friggin' annoying.
So as they're all kind of doing their whole little back and forth thing, Jackson, in a typical Sam Jackson a speech, enough is enough. And so what I love about this speech is that the music in the background is kind of queuing up.
Right.
I was like, oh, he's gonna give us some good shit. We're gonna go home. Or I forgot what he says. He says, we're gonna get off this thing. What we're gonna do is, out of nowhere, Shark comes and grabs him and brings him down.
I mean, slams him on the ground.
Blood
Everybody's
everywhere.
shocked. Everybody's shocked, and then drags him to his death.
Now, do you recall that scene? Do you recall that scene when at the first camera view is the shark coming through grabbing him? Right, it's bad CGI. Now you really think.
Oh yeah.
But by the time the shark is going back to the water with him, he's almost like in this weird like, "Come on, help me!"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't just leave me like
what
this.
you doing, motherfucker?
Ah! Motherfucker! Anyway, so and the one thing I will give this movie credit about is that when we do actually see the sharks eat people, they do not shy away from detail.
No,
they're you're being eaten.
They deliver on that.
I mean, they're being eaten.
And I guess that's the one thing that always kind of annoyed me about Meg a little bit was, okay, Jaws, all right, 1979. 79?
Yes.
Somewhere around there.
1970s,
right?
78?
I could have swore it came out before Star Wars. 76?
78, 79. It's definitely the latter half of the 70s for sure.
76 through 79. Mm-hmm. Jaws. You have the shark come out and it's terrifying. This, to me, this is where the real terror of the film comes in. Because the shark at that point in Jaws had basically ripped apart this boat like nobody's problem. Right. This is after getting 4 fucking buoys shot into it that's supposed to lift the shark out to where he could be killed easily.
Right.
So he's dragging ass with these 4 buoys like nobody's problem.
Right.
And he winds up like busting up this boat. And I mean, he just like fully bust up this boat. And you're seeing the terror on the face of, what's the guy's name in Jaws?
Schreider,
yeah. Mm-hmm. You're seeing the terror on the face as he knows it's absolutely helpless as he slowly kind of goes into the mouth of Jaws, who's just kind of hanging there with this mouth that's just clamping up and down.
Right.
You know, And then finally you get that first bite into it and you see like the blood spurt up in his mouth. And, oh my God. That 1975, that is where it's absolutely terrifying for me more than anything else. So when Deep Blue Sea decided to do this, to basically not hide anything, bad CGI and all, it was pretty effective, for a lot of people.
Definitely, because the way this movie plays out, I believe it's like an hour, 45 minutes long. The way the movie actually plays out, it's really tight. So
it's a fast 145.
And you really do feel like nobody's gonna fucking survive this, because almost every scene people are dying. Now that they've gotten a Skarsgård character, now we're at his girlfriend. Now.
By the way, Quint was the character in Jaws. Yeah.
So they're climbing up this elevator shaft at the risk of destabilizing the pool, right?
Right.
And mind you, shit's on fire above, sharks below. They suck for y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? But I remember.
By the way, we have to cut to LLCoolJ.
No, that's
before.
next. That's the very next.
No, because he opens up the hatch to let them out.
All right, that's true.
He does open up the hatch. So before getting into all this, we cut to the chef of the entire facility, I guess.
Well, Janice is already dead by then.
Right.
So now we get to Preacher.
Right.
Right.
And so LLCoolJ has this parrot who has no loyalty.
He calls him Bird.
Whatsoever. Bird.
He calls him Bird.
Just calls a bird. And he's supposed to be the chef and kind of helping everybody out in this. And there's this incredibly stupid scene. It's pretty close to my cut that out, to be honest.
Okay.
Because the scene, because it makes no sense why he survives. But okay, maybe it's a contractual thing.
It's definitely contractual.
It has to be, because the scene doesn't even make sense.
He had excellent agents at the time.
So the shark at this point, the facility's flooded, right? The shark comes in and he's just kind of standing there, and he basically finds a way to get himself into the oven. By the way, his bird is eaten in the process, right?
Yeah. Now, even I believe when the ship starts to flood, it kind of hits him kind of later.
Right, it does.
So by the time the big thing happens to him in the kitchen, he's already kind of bruised, whatever, from being washed out. In the kitchen or whatever.
Yeah.
So now
he does get washed out and whatnot.
Yeah. So now he's looking for the bird, which at this point is eaten. But he's looking for the bird. Now he's in the same room with a shark.
Right. And the shark tries getting him. He climbs into an oven. Doesn't make sense. The oven turns on
From the shark.
Mm-hmm. He winds up poking through to the top with like a screwdriver or a knife or something.
Some sort of a sharp object. But there's no way you can do it that fast. Though.
Doesn't make sense. And this is still fat LLCoolJ. This is still Halloween H2O LLCoolJ size.
His huge shoulders.
Right. He's not fitting through it. And he finds a way to get out of it. And in the process, he winds up standing up on a desk that hasn't been completely flooded at this point. But the shark, sharks can jump in this movie. So the shark was pretty much going to jump and get him. And he winds up finding a cable that was kind of slightly broken that was still powered, and throws a cable into the shark's mouth, killing the shark in the process.
He blew up. I believe he blew up because the line was "You ate my bird." And he throws the lighter, and something blows up for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think the cable thing comes when I want to say it's either Tom Jane's character or Rapaport's character does it.
No, Rapaport didn't do shit.
Or Burroughs' character probably did it.
I'm not sure. Something blew up.
But I know LL kills one by blowing it up because of the gas from the oven.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that. Susan is the one that electrocutes the one.
Right, there you go.
That's it. So okay. So in this process, you kill my bird. He blows up this shark. He makes his way to this elevator shaft. Mind you, in this process, people are climbing this ladder. There is fire debris falling down on them, and I mean that is just terrifying. And the water is rising in this elevator shaft, and the girlfriend, who I can't remember her name, falls down, and the shark gets her. And of course, they have to show that she's actually dead. The shark jumps out of the water with her half in there, her half-eaten body in there.
Reaching for somebody to grab her.
Right.
Yeah.
Screaming, and dies, in the process. And as the water begins rising even closer and closer and closer, LO opens up the elevator shaft. Preacher winds up opening up the elevator shaft, and he's there.
Okay, so now we're at Carter. Now, Carter is played by, no, I'm sorry, not Carter. Tom, which is Rapaport's character.
Rapaport.
And so, oh man, when he dies,
that was a little terrifying.
that was because he's the one who actually gets the severed leg kind of still kicking.
Yeah,
Which I thought was so gross.
I know it was a little much,
but because he was basically the bitch of the whole thing. Like, it was sad to see him go because, like, dude, he was scared this whole time. At least the rest of them thought you cried.
Well, it's also Michael Rapaport. I'm not that sad.
Yeah, well, yeah. So he's gone. Tom is ripped apart and sabotaged the controls. But and that's when Susan actually kills the shark with the power cables right after that scene.
Right, yeah, because the power gets turned back on. The cable comes out. What was she getting in that other room? She was trying to collect her research material,
yeah,
right?
some research material and some other stuff. Then that's when she got cornered by the shark. Now,
right.
The next scene to me is both shocking and it's like good. You had it coming, actually.
Right.
And that's Susan's death.
Right. So what winds up happening? It's now daytime. It's
This is a long
It looks like
night.
10 a.m.
This is a long
It
night.
looks like it's about 10 a.m. All right. They go to the decompression chamber and they swim it up to the surface. They realize that the sharks made them flood the facility because the sharks are smarter now, and the entire reason why is so they can actually go through the weaker mesh fences because, well, they would be apex predator at that point.
Right.
At that point, there would be nothing that can stop these sharks.
Right. Like, I can now for sure eat you.
Right. But not only just eat you, but the wildlife that's out there as well, kill just to kill. Very similar to how Jurassic World story kind of went. So because of it, Preacher winds up grabbing the last shark.
No, the last shark grabs him.
Well, yeah. I mean, kind of.
Which this is how you know there's a clause here, because there's no fucking way you survive that. Because if Jenna's got the same feet, and all you have to do is just stab him in the eye.
Right. Stabs the shark in the eye. By the way, it doesn't kill the shark, although in Meg, a much bigger shark, yeah, you totally kill the shark with one
bigger
knife.
shark. A prehistoric bigger shark.
Prehistoric bigger shark.
But
two of them, actually.
But he stabs him in the eye, and just off the eye, you stabbed me in my eye, bro. He kind of spits him out.
Susan winds up cutting herself, and mind you, cuts herself on like a rusted piece of something. And I'm like, well, if you're not dead from the shark, you're going to be dead from the tetanus they just put in there. You couldn't find anything else to draw blood. Why did you have to shiver off so much blood?
Yeah.
Why couldn't a little cut do it?
Now, and it's funny because as she's doing that, you have the one shark that because
it's just the last shark.
The last shark now. Okay, so at this point, he's already let LL go. He's trying to get through that gate. So what she does is she does cut herself, right? And so this is where I say, good for you. When she jumps in the water, I'm not expecting her to die,
Right.
I'm just not. But
no, she tries escaping. She tries to escape. She tries saving herself.
But by the time he actually sets eyes on her, he's on it.
Right.
Because I remember he's chewing through the gates, and then his eye kind of switches up because he smells the blood.
Right.
So he immediately stops chewing the gates. It goes right back toward where the blood is.
Yep.
Apex predator. And then she just eats it. I was like, holy shit!
And I mean, just like engulfs her
in one bite.
Not really blood. I mean, there was some blood, but it wasn't like like the girlfriend. Like she was a fountain of blood, basically.
So how does this thing end, Dave?
So basically, she gets devoured. Carter grabs a hold of the dorsal fin by outmaneuvering the shark, of course. Preacher shoots the shark with a harpoon that also pierces Carter's thigh, which is a little hilarious. But as it's getting ready to break through the gate, Carter orders it to connect it to the trailing battery that's there.
So it can blow.
And that's when it basically blows up. Carter does manage to survive in this, and you see workers coming off to get ready for their next shift.
Real quick, now Carter, remember that same scene? There's a quick there's a quick view of the shark gunning it for the gate because he knows what's going to happen.
Right.
With Carter's leg still pretty much attached to his fin because the harpoon's in it. So by the time he actually hits the gate and you see the physical pain that Carter's going through, that leg should have came off.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or worse than that, you should at least drown because you're underwater at this point. Like you're definitely underwater with nothing, just you.
Right.
So I call bullshit on that too. But that's just me though. And of course this movie ends with a good old fashioned LLCoolJ song. Deep as the blue was my hat, it's like a shark's fin. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Deep Blue Sea. Now, before you get into takeaways, did you really like this movie?
I enjoyed it for what it is. It's one of my favorite dumb movies because it's so dumb, it's so retarded, and yet it's so fun.
It's definitely a guilty movie pleasure for sure. Because even when you first watch it and then you rewatch it years later, like this movie is stupid, but I'm so thoroughly enjoying it, you know? And it's very rare to actually get a movie to give you that kind of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some takeaways here. Dave, who's going to get that guy at work?
I'm going to give it to Carter, Thomas Jane's character. He was with all of his I mean, there was something always cool about him, you know, in this movie, like how he tried to keep as good of a head on his shoulders throughout the movie. He knew he wasn't pretty much going to get the girl because, well, he just called her insane. And that
was insane? At that point, I can give a shit about trying to get with you. You're stupid.
Right, pretty much. But not only that, like he did take a pretty massive wound, you know, with the spear through the leg and all that. Yeah. Like it wasn't like he came off unscathed in this. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, his shark maneuvering ass is that guy.
That chick or it.
Oh. So really I have a pick of 3.
Okay.
And those 3 is either going to be Susan, Jan, who is the girlfriend, or Brenda. I'm going to give it to Susan. At the end of the day, she was trying to do something to better humankind.
Noble.
It blew up in her face, obviously, but she did make the noble move of trying to sacrifice herself to better mankind.
Sounds fair. That full of work.
Susan.
All right.
Just because you were my That Chick Award doesn't mean that it was an incredibly stupid idea. You took the most dangerous shark in the world, made their brain bigger and smarter, just so you can find a cure. Bruh, there's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a better way.
Cut that out.
This is really, really, really tough. Because in some ways I kind of want to cut out Skarsgård death scene where they throw his body into the lab, but that's kind of necessary. Mm-hmm. The separate LLCoolJ scene was ridiculous. Was probably the most ridiculous of this movie. Mm-hmm. But it's still fun enough to actually watch. I'm not going to cut anything out because I don't think cutting it out actually improves the movie. Mm-hmm. I think it only makes the movie worse.
Okay. Iconic scene.
Definitely Samuel L. Jackson's death. And the reason why it's the iconic scene instead of like any other scene in there is because for really the first time, look, the Skarsgård death was terrifying, but you always had a formula with these movies. Right. You always had a formula of like you get the inspired speech and then you come back and you know, you come back and everything's supposed to be better and everything's supposed to make sense, and we're going to try hard and we're going to do hard, and today is our Independence Day, you know, all of that. And then that's what you do, right? You know, maybe there's a noble sacrifice at the end. Right. But that's what you do. This speech took that entire idea of, you know, inspired speech to gather the troops and to inspire courage and whatnot. Fight back and wiped its ass with it and just said, fuck you. We're serious about our sharks in this movie. like, yes, it does look ridiculous to this day. We're taking a risk here, and that's why it's so iconic.
I totally agree with you, man.
All right, partner. Who's getting you that guy award?
That guy award, I'm going to give it to Tom Jane. What's his name?
Carter.
We didn't mention the opening scene to this movie is actually pretty dope. Because you have these I guess college kids or whatever. They're on this little boat, whatever. And one of the sharks a shark actually got out before.
Right.
And got to this boat. And as shit is happening, of course, out of nowhere, Carter saves the day. And he looks like the Punisher. It's dope.
Right.
But Tom Jane as a lead in this movie, as a guy who just knows his shit, you can respect that. You know, as a guy that you knew he wouldn't walk away, let's say, unscathed, but he would definitely walk away still knowing his shit. And,
right.
Because me knowing my shit got me to this point. And he ended up being the, one of two survivors. One of the other survivors should have survived at all, but whatever.
Right. You know, he was also in The Expanse. He's in The Expanse, and that's a really, really good show. If you get a chance, check that out.
Nice.
It's really good. That chick award.
That chick award is going to go to the girlfriend. I mean, damn, I don't know her name.
Jan,
which is Skarsgård's girlfriend.
Right.
And for one reason alone.
You stupid
bitch. You mean to tell me my man is gone and
and the reason why
we're stuck between here and fuck that. Cause you want to make motherfuckers smarter. Okay. Me and you got to fight. We gonna have to fight. And I'm surprised Rennie Harlan didn't put a fight between them two in the movie. It'd be great to see.
I don't think they gave him an opportunity to do so. I think they killed off Jan
relatively quickly,
to almost too fast afterwards. But I mean, I get it. I guess they had to play the drama. I kind of wanted to see like if they were going to make her death even worse. Like the debris falls on her and she catches on fire, and then the shark gets her afterwards. She's screaming.
Or when the shark brings her out with her like halfway in this movie.
Right, she's like half burnt off. Right?
We are serious about our sharks. You're going to die in this movie. Yes. All right.
It would just be cruel at this point.
Hilarious, not to say.
That full award.
Easily Susan.
Yeah.
Susan, only because like you said, I respect what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is ultimately going to change the world, which is fantastic. Stupid way of going about it. And then when the shit actually hits the fan, you deal with it stupid as well.
Mm-hmm.
While you could have killed that one before, Dr. Army can save that one, but you could have killed the shark right then and there. It really deaded a lot of the actual issues.
Yeah, how many lives did she cost
to save that one shark who's going to come and kill you anyway?
Right. Like, what was the point of saving that shark anyway?
Exactly. So that just really just makes your death scene all the more sweet because it's like, okay, you had it coming.
Yeah.
I respect what you do, but you had that coming for sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. Cut that out. I'm with you. I can't really cut anything out, but if I had to cut something out right now, it would be the entire notion of a romance between Carter and Susan. Yeah, it felt a little forced.
Only because it literally went nowhere.
Right.
And it ended up him like I put it this way: if Susan would have survived,
then you would have expected it. Sure.
Not even that. I would love to see like if she survived it and like she's hey, so Carter, how about we get a drink? Fuck that and fuck you.
You're still insane.
You're still insane. No. So yeah, for that, yeah, she's my
It's the one thing I liked about Meg, because they actually tried to build a love story. They pushed it pretty hard.
They really do push it.
And I mean, in a lot of ways, it succeeded.
Right.
You know, it still felt a little too forced, but it still succeeded.
But they definitely tried to push it. But I feel like once they had the little googly eye moment, that was it. Like that was like, you're officially insane.
Exactly.
We need to survive. And that's just what it
oh,
was.
Geez, we can't deal with all this chemistry. And finally, iconic scene.
Iconic scene, hands down, is going to be Sam Jackson. Well, pre-speech. Because, number one, the shock value in that scene is fucking awesome. Because when you first see it, you have no clue that's getting ready to happen.
Right.
But when it does, like, it's very rare that a movie can actually give you that moment to where your heart really does jump. You didn't even see it coming.
Right.
But it happened. And I remember watching this movie, and I like I said, Sam Jackson, he's walk up, he tried to tell everybody to, chill out, and I'm tired of these motherfuckers late on this motherfucking plane and all that type of shit. And he's really getting ready to go into a full-blown, we're going to get out of here, we're going to make it speech. Right? Mind you, he does a whole pre-story to even get to the speech.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to seal off this in the car, and the way it is edited, the shark jumps in so quick and says, fuck your speech.
Right.
Me and you going down. We're going down. First, we're going to, nope. You know what I'm saying? And even when I rewatched the movie for the show, and I ain't seen the movie in a good while, that scene does get a nice jolt out of you. Like,
it does.
Because, it's coming. When is it coming? You just don't know.
It's why when they said 59% on Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, that's almost a little too high, but at the same time, there's something enjoyable about this movie, that kind of, it really does kind of matter. Like, right. Deep Blue Sea is one of those movies that even 20 years later, it's aged pretty okay. Maybe not perfect, but
it's gotten us through to where I can still put it on and really enjoy it.
Right. Ironically, it's my mom likes dumb movies like this. It's not her favorite movie. Like, I could throw on Day After Tomorrow for her and she's happy. Like that's, and I actually love that movie myself. But
there are movies like these though, where you kind of don't need. You don't need it to make much sense. This movie that if I saw this in theaters, I'm just sitting there shoving popcorn in my face having a blast.
Right. It's the same thing with Spy Who Shagged Me. Right. Spy Who Shagged Me, they talk about time travel a little bit, and they were just like, yeah. They literally tell the audience, don't worry about it. This is just our movie. Like, that's literally what they said.
All right, so let's get to some quick hits. We can wrap this puppy up. Quick hits. For one scene, Thomas Jane had to swim alongside a real-life shark. He was only allowed to shoot this once. He had completed all of his other scenes. Trust me, if I was Thomas Jane, I'm only going to do this one time. God, this time, he knows me. I know him.
And then it's the pan of the Bowfinger scene back to Eddie Murphy.
Oh, my God. I cannot wait to do Bowfinger next week. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. You didn't hear that. Moving on. The license plate pulled from the shark's teeth is the same one found in the tiger shark in Jaws.
Yeah.
Okay. The orange-colored mini-sub visible in the wet entry area was the same mini-sub seen in the end of Sphere.
Yeah.
Also starring Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I thought that was a weird coincidence. Like,
they reused a lot. They did started to reuse a lot of stuff from other movies. Like, I think Event Horizon had a couple of those. And now there's Amazon just announced a TV show for that movie.
Right, which I'm kind of looking forward to seeing, actually.
I don't know. The movie is rough.
It's a tough watch for sure. Samuel L. Jackson happily signed on for the film as he had enjoyed his experience working with Rennie Harlan on The Long Kiss Goodnight. Criminally underrated movie.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I think if it comes to Rennie Harlan's best flicks, it's going to be these two, Deep Blue Sea and
Long Kiss Goodnight is a lot better than this.
I mean, by miles. But, it's really good, though. This was the first movie Stephen King saw after his nearly fatal encounter with a van, he stated.
Yeah.
My first trip after being smacked by a van and almost killed was to the movies. And I went in my wheelchair and I loved every minute of it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Because I remember that back in '99. Like, I remember that story coming out. I was like, oh.
Was it like the guy, was he drunk?
I can't remember.
I just remember he got smacked though.
Yeah, and I remember that there were some serious concerns that he wasn't going to survive.
Right. Okay, here we go. So, here we go. I was gonna say LLCoolJ performs the rap song "Deepest Bluest" at the end of the movie. Well, we know. Despite the fact that this was filmed in Super 35, filmed in Panavision, is listed at the end of the credits. Which is
so it's shot in 35 millimeter,
but technically it wasn't. Because they lied to us.
No.
The seaplane that Susan and Franklin fly to Aquatica. Here we go. Let's try it again. The seaplane that Susan and Franklin fly to Aquatica is in a de Havilland DHC-2 Beaver.
Do you even know what that means?
I have no idea. I have no clue. Please stop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know either?
I don't know either.
Well, that's why
you just said a whole bunch of stuff there, and I'm supposed to know it.
Well, that's why this is quick hits. You know what I'm saying? We thought random shit. Hopefully, somebody there knows what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, you know the Beaver. That's a good one. I've wrote a couple of those.
Yeah. No, but yeah. Director Rennie Harlan has said that this was the hardest film he's ever made. From a CGI standpoint, probably.
Maybe a water standpoint. There was a lot of water in this movie.
It really was. And
so I wonder if those shots, because those shots can get tricky.
And I can only assume working with water is never fun.
No.
By doing the same shot over and over and over.
No, remember when we talked about Hard Rain and like one of the quick hits there was like everybody was miserable making this movie.
Sick and it sucked. And finally, Samuel Jackson told the Las Vegas Sun that he was motivated to take the part because I watched a lot of monster pictures growing up, and we would go home and someone would pretend to be Dracula or Frankenstein and chase us, and we would run from them. This was an opportunity to finally be in a movie like that and run away from something that's bigger and stronger with sharp teeth and claws, like you weren't just in Jurassic Park 5 fucking years earlier.
Jurassic Park 3? No, that came out later.
This is 99. He was in Jurassic Park 1 was in what, 93?
Jurassic Park 1 was in 93, yeah.
Yeah, and he's in Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah, but, I mean, is he? You don't actually see him interact with a dinosaur.
You see his arm.
You see his arm interact with a dinosaur.
You don't see that. You see the arm. But, here we go. I got to say stuff like, look out, go this way. Even though I didn't get to be that panicky. Yeah, you're not in the movie all that long either. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is Deep Blue Sea. Go out there and watch it, man. You really will get a genuine good time from this movie. I would ask.
Can this movie be remade? It was last year.
Yeah, it's called The Meg. Check it out. But overall, though, man, still an enjoyable flick.
Yeah, 20 years later, Deep Blue Sea is dumb. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like the pinnacle of like summer popcorn flicks, and I think a lot of people kind of miss that in retrospect. That look, summer popcorn flicks aren't supposed to be the smartest material that's ever come out,
right?
You know, but you can still get pretty and you can get a good ride out of it.
So, Danger Neff, let the people know where they can find you, my guy.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, David Danger Neff. You can find me there. Hit me up. I'm the main moderator for the Back to the Classics movie talk group on Facebook, as well as having Spoiling the Classics, in which we kind of talk a little bit about everything that's kind of going on through there. Always interested in new ideas. We hopefully got some things kind of coming up. You know, we'll see how everything kind of pans itself out. But yeah, hit us up. You know, we'll be more than happy to chat. We'll see where we can go from there. My guy, Jay Alonso, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on all the social media simply at I am Jay Alonso. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. You talk to me and I'll talk back. Of course, don't forget to follow us here on Instagram at BTTC Podcast. I think I just relaunched the Twitter handle for the show as well. So it should be at BTTC Podcast.
I don't even have that password.
Well, anyway, with that being said, we have some stuff in the works. We're constantly doing what we got to do. Love jumping on this mic with this dude across from me every damn week. It's fun, and it's a great escape.
It is.
It's a great escape.
Such a great escape.
Now, next week's movie, which I hope nobody heard me say it earlier, but
Nobody heard
movie is going to be fantastic. And that's an understatement. This movie is fantastic. I cannot wait.
This movie is so underrated. It didn't get the love that it deserved.
It really did. But with that being said, we love you guys. We will definitely see you guys next week. This is Back to Classics. I am your guy, Jan Alonzo, and with me,
David Angernaff.
Love y'all. See y'all next week.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.